are we due for a ban list? Now make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on this content. So I wanted to talk about kind of like the state of the meta right now and what we've been seeing, because a lot of the complaints I've been seeing, it's like, we've been in Yummy purgatory for so long. We've been in Mitsurugi purgatory. First of all, I'm not gonna say like Mitsurugi can be an annoying deck at this point in time, but like let's be very clear about this. Mitsurugi's meta relevance ever since Habagiri went down to 1 has been such a lesser evil within the meta that like I think people are just they're willing to complain about any meta deck right now that is affordable, because remember Mitsurugi just got that cheaper wave of support, so now the budget players can play the game with the deck. And then the next thing I end up reading from people is they need to ban prayers and put it to 1 so that nobody can actually play Mitsurugi. Yeah, I guess, man. You're a terrible human being for spending $30 to get a terrible deck. To get a deck that needs to be hit to play the game. Go play Sky. No, hit Sky Sugar. This is the internet, man. Like, people say the dumbest shit, even if it doesn't cognitively make sense. So I do think like Habagiri still at 1 does, biases aside, they need to clean that up. Now we go back to the Yummy problem. So Yummy is in such an interesting position for things that you can do to the deck. Because if you go after Cupsy Yummy, you put it to 1, Camellia, still just pretty much makes the whole package viable, because you're going to toggle into it anyway. So that's a problem. If you go after any of the individual Yummy names themselves, the engine just lets them search out and do whatever they want anyway with the one name. So like the illusion right now is people look at Yummy and they go, if we just put Cupsy to 1, or like it fixes the deck. Wrong. It doesn't, unfortunately. You create more issues with the deck itself, because it's like, oh hey, they have tech slots to open up now. They're still going to play Camellia Hornet drones, and then somebody's going to be like, well, we could just go after Hornet drones. Yes, you could. There's also been the argument to go after Camellia. I've heard that one a lot in the background, but like realistically, they're not going to hit Camellia because it's too new at this stage. Why do you want to hurt your product that has only been out for a month now? So that's that. If anything, you either have to ban a name out of the deck, or you take Yummy Surprise out back and you surprise it by banning it. You could also ban the Link 1, but that's like if you truly look at that engine and go, hey, now there's also the option of I guess we could just say screw it and just put all the Yummy names to 1, but like fundamentally that just it doesn't fix the existing problems that I feel the deck has. It's like if you reduce Cupsy to 1, the deck, it doesn't matter. All right, like fundamentally it does not matter. And then there's been Draco Tail. The Draco Tail sitting here in the meta spotlight. Realistically, we're probably going to see something similar to what the OCG did, where we probably will see Rahu go to 1, and then we're just going to kind of wash our hands with the Draco Tail at this point. Or we could, there's the discussion of Fimea, but like Fimea just got the reprint, so I don't think we're going to go after Fimea at this point. I do think them reprinting Fimea made a lot of sense, because you do have you gotta look down in the alleyway here. You gotta remember, Shaddoll's coming out in the future. All right, there are going to be people that are going to want to play Fimea with Shaddolls, because it's a quick play fusion. If I can window lock you on turn 1 of the game, on turn 0, where you're like, oh, a spell card, and you're like, okay, cool, Fimea chain, and they're just staring at you like, oh my god, like, you actually have the Winda. That's the situation where like the Winda comes out and just ruins their entire game plan. Now that's Wi-Fi Meta can be a very broken card outside of things. But, you know, when you start to hit the pieces within Draco Tail, you know, that's where we're going to start to have the consistency issues, and that's where things are going to kind of start to crack across the floor. There is also the discussion right now on maybe we just don't see a ban list. Maybe we just ride this format out, because you have to remember, starting early May here, we are going to be rolling into the WCQ season, all right, which means you'll be in Blazing Dominion Purgatory, where you'll have Harmonium and you're going to have Cool Tune running this meta. Like, that's the thing you have to look at right now. All of the existing decks in the landscape of things are going to have to deal with Cool Tune, and to a lesser extent, Elf Note. And I guarantee you, we've got people right now in this meta that have not read a single Elf Note card, and they're about to just shit their pants when they read these Elf Note cards, and they're like, wait, hold on, the column movements, we have shift arounds, you know, the thing in this column, or in this center main monster zone is suddenly protected. Their mind's about to hurt. And then you're going to have people that are going to be looking at Doom Z in the rogue category, and they're going to be like, what do you mean I can't search my deck? Like, and then you're going to have, you've got an entire new fluctuation of problems coming with the upcoming set. This is what we like to call natural power creep. This is where, you know, the next set of cards jumps up and changes what's going to happen. I mean, already look at Master Duel. Look at how Cool Tune has already shifted the meta there. I mean, that alone causing players to, you know, go from Master Duel to going, I'm going to pick up these cards so I can play these in real life. And you're dealing with one of the few scenarios where Master Duel sparks buyouts. Because players, in a very weird twist of fate, got the chance to play test the cards early, and now understands and goes, oh, hey, you know, we know that this is going to be the thing. And as much as, like, yeah, Draco Tail limitations, yeah, checking Yummy a little bit more, these would be grand suggestions to, you know, bring down the current ceiling. But I propose the same question I always do. What's the point in hitting the existing decks when the next best deck is going to slam in here and is going to do its thing? There needs to be some checks and balancing, sure. But right now, it feels like if we're going to drag this out, we're not going to see a list until June, hypothetically. And we're just going to let the natural change happen. And then we're going to, you know, shift things up for Chaos Origins in June, and a possible ban list drop after that, then sure, you know, let's see where this is going to go. But the agenda is very clear right now. Your meta is going to be Cool Tunes. All right, you can have a splash of Yummy Radiant Typhoon combo. You can have a little slice of Draco Tail in between in the existing format, and you can even have some Mitsurugi trying to bring up the rear. You can have all of this. But the deck you're going to have to beat is already been decided. You already know where your meta is going. And then there's also the chest deck as well. Like, don't even get me started on the possibility. We've not had a good TCG exclusive deck in a very long time. So if you think you're like, oh my god, this chessboard deck seems so cool, you know, we could deploy the chessboard and, you know, do some things. One, decks that typically require a decent amount of setup typically end up failing in the game. I don't want to be like an absolute sad boy with that, but like statistically, decks that require multiple board setup, or you have to pitch a certain piece to get a chessboard onto the field, for example, unless you're packing 12 to 15 copies of these starters, it's going to be very unrealistic for these to, you know, kind of work. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not going to be a naysayer with this just yet. We got to give it some time and see where the developments go. But do we need a ban list right now? Oddly enough, I don't think so. And that's really strange to say. But you guys have a good rest of your day. Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.